I will clear up something for you like I clarified for everyone you have to check you have to keep an eye on one another. I realize Kanye don't come from a terrible spot, right? And here's it. And when he discussed the medications, the psychological medications, I've had an episode of that, like they could have simply changed to prescription. And I wouldn't be here, and on the news, they would have said it was a result of a psychological issue. They have harms that make coronary failure and pneumonia-like side effects. And I don't have the foggiest idea what sort of medications he was on. Perhaps he's utilizing the very sort of stuff that Kanye West was utilizing, lithium, or whatever, so the web is ablaze with the dubious hospitalization of Jamie Foxx. Yet it appears to be that Kanye West isn't apprehensive about mixing the pot, as he's approached to uncover that it was his very own coach, Harley Pasternak, who has been slipping him a few dubious substances. Wow, yet stand by Dismora. Evidently, Jamie Foxx's health-related crisis was all a major show, and somebody has been attempting to cure him, despite his desire to the contrary. Fortunately, we have every one of the delicious insights regarding this baffling somebody. So how about we get to it? How about we discuss Harley? Will we? This person has been the fitness coach to probably the greatest names in Hollywood, like woman crazy Rihanna Hall, very Katy Perry, and Alicia Keys. Yet as per Kanye, Harley has been doing some genuinely obscure stuff like brain controlling celebs without their insight. And on the off chance that that is sufficiently not to make you dubious, we should not fail to remember that Kanye himself was hospitalized back in 2016 for lack of sleep and depletion, which he currently guarantees was each of the a major arrangement coordinated by Harley. He was taken to the UCLA clinical community for mental assessment convention for a mental patient limiting him, and taking him to UCLA Clinical Place for an assessment. It just so happens Kanye West was in a truly odd circumstance some time ago when policing a government assistance really take a look at call and went to mind him. And where was he gracious, hanging out at his own broker Harley Pasternak's home, acting unpredictably. What yet stand by it gets much more insane. Glimmer forward to November 2022, when Kanye ranted and raved and made a few pretty serious allegations against his previous fitness coach. He asserted that Harley abused him and surprisingly sedated him, prompting his visit at the UCLA Clinical Center. Obviously, fans were pretty blown a gasket by this and began conjecturing that there should be something truly off base happening in the background, to which one of the fans remarked, Harley in this tweet is Harley Pasternak. This is a similar VIP dealer who detailed Kane in 2016 and wound up with him cuffed in a rescue vehicle. He's not only a typical coach, he worked for Canada's branch of public protection, gaining practical experience in drug research. He handles numerous VIP cases, despite the fact that it seems Kane's preparation has fizzled for reasons unknown. In the flood of tweets he sent, Kanye got going with him, broadcasting that he would talk new mate for a month. A jotted message in the image said he was setting out on a 30-day detox, which incorporated a verbal quick. There will be no drinking, no express movies, and no intercourse. Well, that verbal quick didn't keep going long for Kanye West. Similarly, as brief time after his bout of quiet, he was back on Twitter with some series the eyebrow-raising tweets. First, he guaranteed that he could never be hostile to Semitic, since he is a Semite himself. Then, at that point, and just to add to the show, he incorporated a screen capture of a post about him sharing a book of scripture section in the past. We don't know how that is significant, yet certain. Kanye, yet stand by it, gets considerably more extreme. You see, Kanye, previous fitness coach, Harley Pasternak, is Jewish, and evidently things have gotten pretty warmed among them. Small shared an instant message he purportedly got from Harley, in which the mentor took steps to have Kanye regulated again. You and I plump down and have a caring open discussion, yet she don't utilize cuss words. And all that is examined is situated as a matter of fact, and not some insane stuff that moronic companion of yours told you or you found in a tweet. And as though that weren't sufficient, the instant message additionally incorporated a considerably seriously upsetting choice. Harley took steps to send Kanye to a clinical camp where VIPs are sedated, with the eventual result of being absent any and all feelings and utilizations mannequins by the people pulling the strings. Not just that this was Harley's meaning of a polite superstar. I have you systematized again, where they cure the poop out of you. And you return to Zombieland, everlastingly play date with the children, actually won't be a similar Tanny, subtitled the tweet, with which ought to be clear, is that I was raised to represent my reality, no matter what the results Kanye added. So I will say this again. I was intellectually misdiagnosed and almost tranquilized out of my psyche to make me a sensible, respectful VIP. He then went on in his string that he was even taken steps to have his kids removed by tweeting I was come clean with that assuming I uncover of the terrible strategic approaches. Everything will be taken from me, including my dark youngsters, was further guaranteed that Harley knew about his evident Jewish, beginning which the Jewish broker later denied this shows Harley Pasternak. Confessing to knowing the reality of our starting point, however, at that point later, excusing current realities. Inside a similar message chain, mind you, this is the way a Hollywood broker addresses an undeniably more compelling dark VIP. When we escape Linekind, he wrote in the subtitle, fans were left scared for Kanye. When they saw these tweets, a large number of them showed up to openly endorse Mr. West. One of the fans remarked, "This is truly frightening. Who is this man that has this sort of control to converse with somebody like this, particularly somebody like ye? This actually should be investigated." After these hazardous comments by Kanye, Harley proceeded to cut all binds with West, blaming him for being not intellectually well, he told Newsweek. I think Kanye has a past filled with emotional wellness issues. And apparently he's presumably going through an episode at the present time, assuming that individuals keep on giving him a stage to examine derisive enemy of Semitic manner of speaking they're complicit. So I hail Facebook and Twitter, the clouded side of Hollywood, is no confidential to anybody. Endless big names have approached with chilling accounts of the business monstrosities, from Dave Sanctuary to Mariah Carey to Jamie Foxx. Kanye West has been especially vocal about his own encounters, making a few genuinely stunning disclosures about how famous people are dealt with like expendable pawns in the diversion machine. As per Kane, the elites who control the business use drug for the purpose of control. They change around big names drugs and even attempt to get them dependent on drugs, all with an end goal to hold them powerless to resist them, you understand, like they could have changed a prescription. And on the news, they would have said it was a direct result of a psychological issue. This isn't whenever that Kanye first has stood in opposition to the business people. Pulling the strings he has long kept up with that Hollywood elites are continually searching for ways of damaging and control individuals they work with. Feels like it very well, maybe a ton of that to control damage they need to adapt and damage. As a matter of fact, Kanye once shared an especially